Hey everybody. So we're here. Moderators are here. Good. Okay, give it one more minute and we'll get started. I'm gonna have to leave just 5, 10 minutes early. It's my son's first day at school and he forgot his medication, so I'm gonna have to run it over to them. They just called about 5 minutes ago. But we'll go as fast as possible. Okay, so given that, I'm gonna get at the top since we only got about 20 minutes today. Um, All right, so let me start with some general questions and then we'll go as fast as possible. All right, so I got somebody commenting about Reddit. I've had a couple of these that say the guys on Reddit think that the stock is undervalued, and whether that's different Reddits or Wall Street bets, I'm not sure which particular subreddit they're referring to. Um, and what is my opinion on that? Well, you can't, I'm still here, so I personally think this company has a lot of value. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here. Um, that's my personal opinion. As far as fair market value is concerned, that's the market to determine. I can't be going around giving stock advice on this one. But like I said, I'm still here, so I personally believe uh, we're doing things right. Um, and then here's another one. This has come up quite a bit in my email over the last few weeks. Whoops, turn that off. Um, the people are wondering what we can and cannot share as far as material information is here. Uh, Basically, material information means that anything that could affect your decisions around, whether or not to buy stock. That's the long and short of it. So if I go giving out, company numbers out of band, or anything related to profit margins, things like that, upcoming contracts, stuff that's in the works that's not inked yet, anything like that that could affect the value of the company, I'm not allowed to talk about, at least on these channels. So what we do have to do by rule is give everybody equal access to that information. And this forum is not equal access, as everybody can't always attend and things like that. Um, so the prescribed methodology for doing that is usually through the press releases. That's acceptable to the exchange, and they get to clear everything before we release it anyway. Uh, so that's basically it. So just again, we've had a lot of discussion around this, but that for those of you who keep asking, I hope that clarifies that, and maybe we can read the pin posts up there, and there should be some more clarity on that one. Now, next, this is a two-parter. Somebody else asked, some other asked, what do you think the most important things that we're doing right now, uh, indicator-wise? Indicator-wise, the fact that we're hiring on the AI front, I think, is the most important indicator that we've got out there. We've mentioned that on several occasions. That'll let you know exactly where we think that's going as that business is expanding. That's what I think is the single most important indicator that we have shared so far. Uh, Another question we've got quite a bit about is what's going on with institutional engagement with DM. We've had quite a few institutional talks over the past several weeks. We're going to be heading up some more, not this week, but next week. So this week, there's a few other pieces going on, so we're not having institutional meetings this week. Um, that being said, there's no lack of interest there. It's just timing. Um, so that's pretty much it. So we've lined a lot of that up now that our balance sheets are cleared up, and we've sent those out, and we're lining up the meetings now. This week is going to be more devoted to engineering now, and getting that. So now this is another question that has come up quite a bit. Is should we move these to biweekly Discord sessions? I personally think that would be a good idea. Um, I don't know how to get a poll on that because there's usually, there's a lot going on here, but on a week to week basis, we end up covering a lot of the same ground for, I guess, people that don't attend or just, partially attend. Because that, I mean, there is a lot going on, but talking about it every single week, I think is a bit of overkill. Anyway, we'll mull this over. That way, I don't want to be wasting everybody's time on here for that particular one. And we may put a poll out or something. Anyway, you'll see some more about this. Watch for the pinned posts, and we'll see. So a couple more questions coming in. People wanted to know now that we have a bankroll and runway and things like that. Uh, are we planning on doing any? What are we planning on doing with the current outstanding shares and things of this nature? Right now, there's no plans to touch anything. There are reasons we would touch shares, just to name a few, just to put it out there. Like if we were to uplist and there was a requirement there that made us do that, then you guys would hear about it, or things of this nature. Because we are looking, to different exchanges and things like that for uplisting. That's something that's been on the board's mind for quite some time, and we're going to continue to work with the different exchanges and what we think is in the best interest of the company. That being said, there's no immediate changes coming. So, and the shareholders will hear about that before any changes happen anyway. So that's where that stands. Are we toying with any sizable acquisitions and cost expansion? Again, this is something that's material, so I can't say anything about whether or not what we're doing that's not already out there in the press releases. So watch those, and you'll know what we're looking into. Because even when we're just looking into them, we have to PR it. So. Can you comment on the importance of DM being a bit positive for the first time? I find that tremendously important, and I've tried to emphasize that through some interviews and stuff like that. That just means, we're actually heading in the right direction right now. That was not the case for the whole history of the company, right? So we did not, we weren't making any money. It was that simple. Now, I'm not going to comment on why that was the case. I'm just not, because I wasn't here, so it'd be hard for me to comment on all those years when I was not around. And most of the people that were around are gone now anyway. Do you foresee this being the case for the rest of the year? Most likely, yeah. I don't see why not. Things are moving, the way we want them to. There's no reason to see that would change. We also have quite a bit of other stuff in the works that we're going to hopefully be able to announce within the next few weeks or month or so. So yeah, it looks good. Have we considered a buyback? That has been toyed with at the board level for a while, at least 6 months. It is something, but again, this is one of those things that goes along hand in hand with stuff like, uplisting and moving to, a different exchange, et cetera, et cetera. So all that has to be considered in whole. So at the moment, like I said, there's no immediate plans on any of this stuff. But it is being thought through for the longevity of the company, how long we want to do this. Uh, so, when we do have concrete plans on that front, you will know. Okay. So one person, a few people, well, I don't know how many this is. Is it is it possible for DM and ScreenPro to coordinate their news releases to make it easier to understand how many contracts both DM and ScreenPro have? It's possible. I actually talk to the people that run ScreenPro at least once a day. Um, the right now the press releases are driven by what the exchange deems material, and there's a lot of scrutiny. There still is on Datametrics on what we're allowed to press or what we have to press release. So for those of you guys who've been around since we started in the COVID business, you've probably heard me talk about um, we have to run everything by the exchange, like everything. And the reason is when we started the COVID stuff, um, we weren't legally in the correct position to import pharmaceuticals. All right. That being said, we got a pass from the exchange because the government had asked us to do this and to step in to help with the pandemic, and we were doing so at their request. But um, that leniency came with some requirements, and one of them was they have to tell us basically what we have to press release and not press release. Uh, so there is some ability for us to coordinate there, and then there is also um, what we have to do to satisfy the exchange's requirements. The best thing to do right there is to just pick up the financials. Both companies put out their financials every quarter. You can take a look there and you'll see exactly what's coming in and coming out. And, they're publicly available on CDAR. Well, that's another question. Are the CEOs of Concierge and Medical related? Yes. In fact, they're brothers. And getting all that together in one big swoop, this is one of the reasons we wanted to work with them. uh, because we needed all those. We needed their expertise, and we needed to put both of those companies, under the umbrella to make Medicall work. Um, are we going to have access to financial statements of Medicall? That's a question I don't have an answer to yet, but when I do, I will give it. The question becomes whether those financial statements get released with Datametrics or with as a separate company. Right now, those financial statements, currently as it sits, would come out under the umbrella of Datametrics itself, much like the revenue with Nexology and how that works. So at the moment, that's how it's going to be placed. There is some question about whether we should report these independently, and we have asked for clarity for Q3 for that with the exchange, and they'll tell us what to do about it, but they haven't said anything yet. So we will find out. Um, so, do I think that the stock price is being held down due to the pending nature of various deals? Um, Again, I can't say one way or the other whether or not somebody's intentionally holding down the stock price. Um, I don't know, to tell you the truth. What I do know is we're going to keep, piling in the revenue, piling in the contracts, and go from there. But if somebody's intentionally doing something to the stock, I don't know. That would be something for the exchange to look into. Uh, so, what were the another question follow up for institutional investors? Okay, what were the major questions and concerns? Okay, first major concern was the balance sheet, always. I mentioned this last time we were on here. Individual investors are usually looking at the stock price. The institutional investors always want the balance sheet. I mean, that's the first thing they ask for before they even want to agree to talk to you. Can I see the balance sheet? So that's number one. Again, that's in pretty good shape right now. And the concern, two concerns that are, seem to come up. Previously, one of the concerns uh, was basically revenue. That's no longer a concern, as we've got plenty of that. Um, and then the next concern was people was working on in Nexology space on the AI contracts and seeing what we've pulled in, over the past 12 months. We've gotten a really good positive response to that. Um, and I believe that that's going to continue. Uh, as it's doing nothing but expanding at the moment. And you guys will hear more about that in the PRs to come. Can you advise if you will be calling the exchange to get things moving at Perspective? We talk to them at least once or twice a week about this. We're not sure what exactly is holding that up, but it's got to clear up before the end of September. And so they basically got till the end of next month to give us an answer, by law. So I don't know. It can't go into Q4. Let's put it that way. But I can't get them to go any faster than they are at the moment. I don't know what we've given them all the information they need. They've talked to everybody they need as far as we know. We just need an answer. Okay. I'm not sure what that is. Um, does the company intend to release PRs clarifying numbers during Q2? No, we won't. The Q2 numbers are out. You can, the financial statements are reviewed. So please feel free to go pick up the full financials off CDAR. That's your best bet. Um, I do interviews talking about those numbers. So there is an interview about 30 to 40 minutes long on Agoracom talking about the Q2 numbers. So please go watch that. You can get it off of Agoracom's website or on YouTube. And that's your best bet for looking around, seeing what our numbers are and how what we're doing to explain them. So if there's we'll ask one of the mods to pin Agoracom's YouTube channel up there so you guys can take a look at that in the Discord. Um, so what are okay, I'm gonna have to go in just a couple minutes because I got to get to my son's place before 1 my time. So I'm gonna go find another question. Is the 250K AI contract announced last week with Graph Blockchain? No. Um, so no, that's not it. And there'll be more coming out with that as that progresses. So that's the last one I'm going to be able to do today. Sorry, I have to cut it short, a little short. We'll get an answer back as to how often we're going to do this, and I will get to all the, any of the things I missed. Please keep bringing them in. I will go over as many as possible. As fast as we can up till next week. Again, though, I do have to go to my son's school and take his meds over there. So could the mods, if you could please pin that Agoracom YouTube channel, that'd be great. You can find us there. Uh, you can find the information there, and I will be back around. We'll be back on here next week. So thanks everybody for tuning in. Sorry I got to cut it a couple minutes short. Um, but again, I've got to I've got to go take care of my son's meds real fast, and his mother is not available, so I got to do it. All right. Thanks everybody. We'll be back next week.